Howdy, folks. I'm Colonel Sanders, and you're not. So this is my TikTok page. I've been on YouTube since 2014. We've uploaded different kinds of content over the years, and it never really went anywhere. We were stuck under 1,000 subscribers just until this year, and now we're on our way to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. On TikTok, in 2022, I broke 10,000 followers just by talking about my family history and addressing a rumor that some troll was spreading about my uncle in Kentucky Fried Chicken. And fast forward today, we have 331,000 followers. But if you look at my videos, that doesn't really add up to 331,000 followers. For 6 months, I've been stuck in this limbo of 500 to 1,000, occasionally breaking over a few thousand views. And it just doesn't make sense to have that many followers and not that many views per video. Some might argue, well, it's the content that's changing. And I made a video about this a little bit ago that on TikTok, and I put it on here on YouTube, that's not the case. I am friends with a lot of verified mutuals with millions of followers on TikTok now. They are experiencing the same thing. The ratio and proportions of views per following has dropped. The views have dropped dramatically. Ever since they really put out this TikTok shop, they haven't been pushing out real content from the creators that make this app popular. I'm not one of them that make it popular, but I am the only one on the app that's sharing Kentucky Fried Chicken history the way that I do it. So anyways, I have lost almost all interest in posting the TikTok now. I get some fans on there that comment, said, we haven't seen you in 6 months. And they missed a lot in those 6 months. So last year, I was getting hundreds of thousands of views per video. This year, it's, 500 to 1,000 views per video. I should be at least getting 150,000 to 250,000 views per video. Let's say 150,000 people generally don't use TikTok, so why are they following me? I should be getting the other ones, the other ratio of those views, like I was last year. But I'm not. And the only thing that TikTok now pushes out is either the shop content or dramatic content. So like if I go to one of my playlists here that is comedy, I want to show you something. It's here. We just got it. Here it is. Go to my comedy playlist. See 6.4 million views, 6.2 million views. Let's watch this real quick.
This is going to require a suit. We all knew this day was coming. Might as well go out with a bang. My response to KFC's tweet to me about telling me that the performance you guys want to know how to make the biscuits.
So that video there, I had a few reasons of making. One of them was to promote the Colonel Harlan Sanders 20 Favorite Recipe booklet that was sold in the 1950s and 60s by Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's still sold today at the Corbin Sanders Cafe and Museum. You could buy that booklet at the museum. Not a lot of people are aware about it in my generation today. So the way that I went about that got people talking about that biscuit recipe. Well, where did the biscuit recipe come from? It came from the 20 Favorite Recipes of Colonel Harlan Sanders booklet, which is a historical recipe booklet by Kentucky Fried Chicken that they sell. And I wanted to bring awareness to that and also bring awareness to Joe Lettington's recipe being fake. And we talked about that multiple times. He's my step cousin. He doesn't have the recipe. His story behind it's fake. Him saying that it's the Colonel's handwriting is fake. It has misspells all over the place and it has inaccuracies. And I needed people to know that. But in order for TikTok to take off and do just that, to get that 6.4 million views, I had to address it in a way that was so unhinged. I had to pretend to be leaking his recipe again so people will start talking about it. And then while I had all that attention, I stopped and I said, hold up, this is a joke. You need to see what the truth is. And I showed them that. And then people were saying, I'm going to be sued for that. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Next day, I come out with that video as a joke. People fall for it. Even MASH wrote a story, but MASH was smart enough to know that it was a satire joke, that it was not true. So it's satire. There was never a lawsuit. But what it did do is successfully marketed the idea of that book that KFC sells today, and that you could buy it on eBay. There's copies of it on eBay. But it brought attention back to that. It promoted that. It brought attention to the fake recipe that everybody was saying the Colonel's nephew leaked, so it must be true. It brought attention to that too, and allowed me to talk to people and tell them that the Colonel's family did not get the recipe. It was not an heirloom handed down. If one person has it, only one person has it, and it's not a grandchild. It might be one of the nephews or nieces. It's not me. And they had a very good reason for having it. I'm not going to divulge who that is, and nobody's ever going to know who that is, and nobody's ever going to be able to talk to that person and ask them. As far as anyone's concerned, if they do have it, because I haven't seen it, I don't know for a fact that they have it, it's just alleged. If they do have it, it's going to go to the grave with them. But I needed people to be aware that the people coming out and saying, oh, we have the recipe, the Colonel gave it to us, he entrusted us with it or whatever. Oh, this is the family recipe. It was never a family recipe to begin with. It was the Colonel's secret recipe. There was family that was involved in mixing it for him for the business. And once 64 came around and he sold it, it was no longer the family's. Period. So that recipe, I wanted to make sure everybody knew that it was a fake recipe and that nobody has it. And anybody that would have it would not be leaking it online. I've leaked fake ones several times because that's what TikTok was getting me addicted to doing to get the views so that I could get my story told. And really my story, I'm talking about Uncle Harley's story. My entire TikTok page here is dedicated to history of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now there's things on here that I have taken down over the last year because my opinions on them have changed, or the information I have now is different from the information we had before, and I don't want to contribute to misinformation. But these playlists have a lot of videos in them. This is the flash drive and has a video of Uncle Harley and Kentucky Fried Chicken that they aired on his 100th birthday. Then we have just little things like my YouTube channels, advertising in there, Kentucky Colonel information, comedy posts, podcasts that I've been on. Again, my opinion since those podcasts have changed because Kentucky Fried Chicken made up with me in April of 2023 and we're good now. My America's Got Talent auditions, other little things that I've done over the last few years, animations and whatnot. Joe Lettington's Lies, it's about his recipe. This is about our chicken that we make, our own personal recipe. And this is 75 videos of me addressing the rumors of Colonel Sanders. And because TikTok doesn't push these videos out. Like if I make a video like that, oh, I'm being sued, here's another recipe, TikTok pushes that out. But if I put, here's some history and information, TikTok doesn't push it out. And it's not that nobody wants to watch it. I have 331,000 people who want to watch it. They're just not being fed the content. They don't know that I'm here posting anymore. And that's the issue. That's why I'm moving all of this over to YouTube minus the bullcrap. I did move the biscuit recipe video over just to see how it would perform on YouTube. But I think it's important that we know the history of KFC and Uncle Harley and all that good stuff. I think that's important. If I wasn't in the family, would I think it's important? No. But I'm in the family and I think it's important. So I like to carry on that history. So I like to move all that information over. The Q&A is full of a lot of good information. There's proof if you desire. This is a playlist talking about how Lee's Famous Recipe dropped me. We do not talk anymore. I do not promote them. I do not send people their way. 138 posts of me gaming. We have my other social media posts. This one was another series I was going to do on other fast food history that has to do with this family and or have relations to Kentucky Fried Chicken. But we didn't get that many views or interactions on it this year, so I haven't continued that. Family history and confusion. There's a lot of people. I just had somebody on Instagram, for instance, that tagged me and said that their great-grandpa Sanders said that the Colonel was his grandfather. And that's inaccurate. The Colonel had 2 daughters that had children. His son died in his 20s. He didn't have any kids. His daughters had kids. Last name changed to Ruggles and changed to Adams. And those are the last names of the families plus more last names. There are no Sanders that are grandchildren of the Colonel. So right there, the guy is lying. The guy that tagged me on Instagram is not lying. He is going by what his grandfather told him. His grandfather is fibbing to him about being related because there are no other Sanders. Clarence has Sanders in the family, and that's where I come from, is Clarence's side. There's not many Sanders left, and I know all the ones that live and all the ones that are dead leading up to him and before him. We've done a lot of genealogy work, too, to see if we have any extended family that are Sanders. And the last one was 1997, Howard Sanders. He died on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I think it might have been Christmas Eve in 1997. He was the last distant relative with the last name Sanders in this family that is on record that we know of. But there are no grandchildren of the Colonels with the last name Sanders. Never have been, and probably never will unless they marry somebody with the last name Sanders, which would be kind of odd, but yeah, it's possible. So anyways, that family history and confusion playlist that has 83 posts on there is me addressing people who aren't sure if they're related, who are lying about being related or confused. I addressed all the family history stuff in relation to the Sanders family on there because there are a lot of people. I mean, it's probably a waste of time to disprove people or to help people find out, but there's a lot of people who pretend to be related just for the clout. There's a lot of misinformation on the family history sites. People add their own family trees to the Colonels just to cause confusion or so that they could brag in their own communities about it. We've ran into people personally who have lied for clout. They didn't know we were related. They didn't know, but they were telling us and other people that they were related. So it exists. That's why that playlist is there. Debunking recipes. Every video on here is on YouTube now. I have moved them over to YouTube. There's 156 videos on here about Kentucky Fried Chicken. And there's 255 Kentucky Fried Chicken lore videos on the page. And again, I've changed a lot. There used to be a lot more videos on here. But in regards to Kentucky Fried Chicken, about 100 more videos was me complaining about them trying to get something to change about their advertisements over the years. And we finally settled that difference, so I decided to remove that feud so it didn't continue to circulate online because we settled it. It's over. There's no need for that to continue. There's also information that I had wrong over the years, but based off of the information that we had, it's all that I knew. So I decided to do more research, and when I found out more information, I was able to talk to people who were actually involved during the time. They were able to give me some better, clearer insights and information about the situations for me to clear up any confusion that there could be. So there's been a lot of changes to the TikTok page. YouTube, not so much, because I've been moving the TikTok videos over and I've only been moving the accurate information over to YouTube. So YouTube is definitely being formed into what TikTok is here because what I've been doing for 10 years on YouTube with the gaming isn't going anywhere, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's an oversaturated market. What I'm doing with my family history, I'm proud of, and I want to continue doing, and YouTube seems to be the better option to be doing that rather than TikTok, because I'm actually getting the views on YouTube is starting to pick up when I talk about this stuff. So for my followers who have been here a while, that is why a lot of things are changing, but there's a lot of videos on here to share, and you can see how the views have dropped. We get to hear 5,000, 8,000. I'm grateful for that, but here's 13,000, but that's not 300,000. That's how many followers I have on TikTok. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grow YouTube organically like I did TikTok to the point where we are on TikTok, but on YouTube. Share these stories, get people talking about it and understanding the history, and I mean, maybe that will lead to something somewhere in the future. And then I'll add on some of the gaming content that I do. I started doing that on TikTok before they suppressed views, and people liked it. They liked watching the videos and learning something, and then coming to the live stream and watching me play games and talking personally about the videos that we made and, whatever else. So you're going to be noticing a lot of changes, but that's why I'm uploading a lot of these. And if you're from TikTok and you're seeing these videos upload that you've already seen on TikTok, but you're on YouTube, that's why I'm moving all the stuff over. That way, in case anything happens to TikTok, or if TikTok completely tanks my views to the point where I'm just not going to post on it anymore, all the videos that you have seen and may have missed will be on YouTube as well. And there's also content on Instagram that you probably want to check out too. But that's this video. This video isn't KFC lore. It's talking about my channel and what's going on and what's going to be the future of it. So I hope I can continue entertaining folks. I'm sorry to those who did follow me just for the gaming. But hey, you're on this journey with me, and if you want to stick around, you'll be able to learn about my family history and Kentucky Fried Chicken and all that good stuff. And you get to learn about it without me being sour about them, because TikTok started with me being sour with them and then merging into being friends with them. So you guys just get to see the good part of it rather than, all the sourness before. But like I said, the sourness is in the past now. KFC and I are good. Regardless what articles, there's a lot of articles written about me out there from non-prestigious news articles, as TikTok puts it, because they refuse to verify me. They say they're not prestigious enough, but those articles exaggerate some things, have information wrong in them, and are made for clicks. They report me as somebody who is dishing out dirt on Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I'm not. I'm dishing out the history. Good, bad, and ugly, whatever it is, it's the history, and it's good to learn about it. So, yeah. Hope to see you guys around.